hello, howdy, hi, welcome. I realize you guys are in I forgot to move you. Let's scoot chat. There. Okay, great. Hi, welcome. Come on in. We're talking about Pokemon designs. Oh my gosh. Holy free holies, Batman. Yeah, howdy. I've also been really looking forward to this all week, so this is gonna be so fun. I love talking about art with you guys. So yeah, in case you don't know, I recently put out a video where I've made my own like Pokemon region, and it started out as just designing like the gym leaders and stuff. Like I wanted to design characters. And then that snowballed, and I made badge designs, I made a map, and a bunch of fake Pokemon. And I will never say I'm all that good at at designing Fakemon. I'm bad at drawing critters, I'm bad at designing critters, but I still had a lot of fun making them. And so in the video, to announce all of the, like, Pokemon, I just have, like, a Pokedex, like, description for them, as opposed to bogging down the video talking through like my thought process with all of them. And I believe like last week somebody suggested I talk about that on stream, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a good idea. So here we are, and here's a little look behind the curtain. You can see I've drawn all the Pokemon except for the legendaries on one big canvas, because I wanted to be able to have Sky as like a height. I wanted to be able to show the height of the Pokemon for myself. I needed to know how big all these guys were. And that's also why I've really like puzzle pieced them all in. It's why like things aren't necessarily next to their evolutions, you know? But oh, wow, we subbed for 2 whole months. Golly. Subbed for behind the scenes. I refuse to deal with ads right now. The ads, listen, I gotta be honest. If I could have no ads, I would. Like, I hate them too. And if I could just be like, no, there's never ads on my streams, I would. Honestly. But yeah, so let's take a gander. I've got, they aren't even good ads. You're so right. There was one decent ad that I've seen on Twitch, and it was for the Superman movie. And the only reason why it was decent was because in it Superman looked like his eyes were all tired, and I was like, I like men with tired eyes. And that's about it. But let's zoom in and start looking at, oh my god. Zoom in and start looking at some of these guys. A little bit closer. We can start with the starters. So I've got you can't see it because there's really nothing for you all to see, but I've got a Google spreadsheet, like an Excel spreadsheet that I used to like keep track of everything. Like how many characters there were, how many male and female characters, what type all the things ought to be. And since I'm bad at making Pokemon, a big thing with a lot of the Pokemon was just a type. For example, the starters here, which are, we've got Sooty, Spwig, and another one. I'm not good at naming Pokemon, and I'm Elater. Yeah, Elater. I went in with all this first up knowing fully that my main goal was the types of the Pokemon. I knew I wanted a Fire Fairy, I knew I wanted Grass Steel, I knew I wanted Water Ghost, and so that was the starting point. And basically every Pokemon starts as 2 types. Some of them, I wandered and I changed what type I would label them as down the line, but for the most part, everything began with type. Will you also be going over the human characters? You know what? I do like them, so I don't see why not. I like answering questions. so hell yeah, but we're gonna start with the Pokemans. Personally, what helps me with creature designs is to start with the silhouette. I've heard that. I'm not good at starting with shapes in general with my art. I'm very line art focused. But let's talk about our starters here. So, like I said, we got Sooty, Spwig, and Elater. The hardest thing for all of them was coming up with names. All names was a nightmare. Sooty is just kind of, so it's soot. You can tell that they're pretty clearly based off of the like little soot guys in like Neighbor Totoro. They also appear again in Spirited Away. Very Ghibli coded. And so that's where Sooty came from. Spwig, it sounds cute. It's gonna sound stupid when you learn that it's spring, spider, and twig. Like, that's what it is. And then elater, which is just eel, and then the second half of water. And there you go. That's, there they are. Sooty's my favorite of the starters. They're so cute. Alright, I forgot. One was a beaver for a sec. I thought it was just a chunky chipmunk. Yeah, we'll get to them. Don't worry. I looked at a lot of Pokemon to try to figure out some general consistent things for my Fakamon. For example, this is a pretty old school kind of thing. I'm thinking of like Tangela. Cloister, or rather Shelter, stuff like that, where it's just like a void with eyes. That's where Sooty's general design came from. Basically, this is Tangela without the tangles. Spwig, step one was just make sure it's not just Spinarak, but also it's just Spinarak. And then, yeah, Elater's just an eel. I kind of copied like Charmander's general head shape. Fun fact, Elater, I did the line art with the wrong brush. You can't tell, but it's got crunchy line art. And it always distracted me. Also, at first I was gonna shade them all in, and then I was like, I've got so many Pokemon to do. I'm not doing effects like that. Water Ekans, exactly. I love how the Pikachu clone of this region's shiny form is literally Pikachu's colors. Yes, it was so fun getting to come up with shinies. They all ended up on their own kind of like canvas. And I wanted to get everything's normal colors down first before I made any shinies. It just felt appropriate to do it that way. Spwig looks like it's got cucumbers on its eyes. It so does, which is nice, I think. I think a decent, I started like thinking about all this stuff a while ago. Like kind of inklings of a lot of these Pokemon ideas started when, like, years ago when I first kind of thought about making a Fakamon, like a fake region, and then a couple of years down the line from that, I've got my little brown spider starter, and then Pokemon released the Spidops line, which are like little brown spiders, and I was like, oh no! What animals did you reference for Spwig and Elater? So Spwig and Elater, they're just spider and eel. I looked at some, I avoided too many specific things pretty often for these things. For Elater, definitely like moray eels. Like big eels, for down its evolutionary line, and I did have to Google spiders, and I didn't like doing it. But I did have to Google. I think is burrowing spiders, but that kind of had a general shape I liked. I liked kind of. I was very particular about the shape of Spwig's evolutionary line, and so I think there were some burrowing spiders, but also I wanted to focus on things that also had a real relevant thread, because that's Spwig's whole gimmick, looking at their middle evolutions, which I think are the best of the starters. I think they look coolest in their middle forms. But yeah, since its whole kind of gimmick is basically becoming a chrysalis of its steel typing web. So that was what it was, a good handful of different types of spiders, but I do remember specifically burrowing spiders, because they had the longer thoraxes that I was looking for. Why didn't you make Spwig a bug type, by the way? Is it just because it would have been hella bad? Because I knew I wanted grass steel, because I thought that was an interesting idea. And then I was like, okay, how do you do that? And I had the idea of the steel being spider thread, And so I was like, yeah, spiders could be grass type, why not? So that's why. We're jumping down in my script to their middle evolution names, but I will find them for you, because I don't remember them all off the top of my head, because again, bad at designing Fakemon. Okay, so, we've got Axel Day. That's the web Pokemon. That's our Spwig evolution, Axel Day. And hints to things I Google show up in the names. Most of the names are, and this is true with Pokemon. Pokemon names are puns. Pokemon names are so consistently just puns. And so Axel Day, I believe, was named after, like, a genus of real spider. That's why they also end up sounding kind of goofy half the time, because I will pull from, like, genuses a lot, for better or worse. Yeah, Axel Day. Drench, which is, Dirge and Drench, because I wanted to start getting some ghosty stuff getting in here. I'm proud of that one. Drench, that's a good one. And then Farash, which is bad. That's Fairy and Ash, shittily fused together. Farash. So hell yeah. Puns, yep, puns and portmanteau, pretty consistently. And I think that's something a lot of people miss with Fakemons, but also coming up with fake Pokemon names is really, really hard. It just is. Not to be a nerd, but it ends in "ide." It's the family, not the genus. Yeah, I appreciate the nerd. I appreciate the nerdist, the nerd elements, because I won't know. These designs were really fun. Basically, the starters were the only ones where I had to draw multiple of the same line. And so Spwig was easy, because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted it to become Cocoon. And then Drench was also pretty easy, because it's like, okay, make it a bigger eel with, like, cooler, like, frills and crap, you know? Easy. Darker, bigger, cooler. And then, yeah, for Farash here, I started to pull from things like Curlia, other kind of cute fairy types. Rabombi is another one that I looked to for help, because I knew I wanted to become, like, kind of like a little person, like Gardevoir, you know? Kind of those, like, people-type Pokemon. But without it just being like Gardevoir but furry. I think I did a decent dang job. I'm pretty happy with its color palette. And then we got their final evolutions, which I think are smattered around a little bit. Which are... They wander between mid and acceptable. Between mid and acceptable. I think the Fire Starter's final evolution is the best. We've got Titantulum, and it was a bitch and a half getting my Google Doc to just accept that as the name. It wanted me to... It was like, you mean tarantula? And I was like, no. And it was like, you mean titanium? No. I want to fuse those words together. Titantulum's a pretty solid name, though. I'm pretty proud of myself. Even though I think this design... Let's actually get Titantulum on screen here. I think Titantulum's design is one of the weaker ones, because I didn't really know where I was going with it. I decided on eventually being like, okay, like a centaur. Let's do like a centaur thing. But I think someone else could do that idea better. These colors are also a little goofy. I think the green is tacked on. But what are you gonna do? Elegy, another pretty solid name. That's eel and elegy. Elegy is a sad song. The dirge thing in Drench kind of established a bit of like a melody thing. Unfortunately, I feel like I didn't capitalize on that super well. I think someone else could do this design better. I like the idea of a faux head on its tail. That's interesting. I like the glowy lights down it. I like that its kind of front tum area looks like a spine. I wanted to do that. But other things like the general face shape is still kind of just like basic. The multiple pupils feels meh. And I kind of don't do anything. I wanted to give it, you know how Predator has his weird mouth? If you've ever seen Predator, he's got a mouth that like opens up in like quad angles. The pose is fun. I do like that it being kind of knotted up, kind of helps it be compact enough for Pokemon, because snakes and eels and those types of things are always so long, and so you have to kind of compact them, and so I think that worked out pretty well. It's nice that it feels confusing. That's the idea. It confuses like sailors and stuff, but yeah, I wanted to give it like a mouth like Predator, but I could not draw it. I could not draw it well, and I was like, okay, then pick your battles. And then last but certainly not least is Spyrite, one of the best names. That's like Sprite and Pyrite. Pyrite is Fool's Gold, and at first I was gonna have it with much longer legs, very Gardevoir-esque. And then I was like, wait, what if I just keep it with funny little legs? just a little bit more unique and interesting. And I'm glad I went with that idea, because I don't know, it just makes it stand out in a good way. I'm glad that the the elements that were set up with its fur being and everything ended up landing. I'm glad I landed on a theme with the Fool's Gold and stuff. Pixie dust, as it were. So yeah, pretty dang fun starters. The bigger ones are all hard. Harder Pokemon are bigger. I'm way better drawing funny little guys. I want the fire sprite to be real. It's so fun. Thank you. I can't believe we don't have a fire fairy. Whatever, man. Whatever. But then we could get to the gym leaders Pokemon. Starting up, we've got Sterilite, the orbiting Pokemon. This is for the electric gym. This is one of my favorite little guys. This is swell. I got inspiration from Minior, and that's kind of it. And I'm glad that this worked out. He almost wanders into Kirby enemy territory, and I think that's okay. For this one, I knew my only thing was I'm like, okay, electric type, and I gave myself like a word description. And the word I gave myself was satellite, because I needed something to work with. Otherwise, I would just make a bunch of like Electabuzzes, you know? And so rolling with like a satellite theme for a musician was fun. It felt interesting. I like the colors. I like the use of blue and yellow in it. I like this one a whole lot. I think he's really fun. One of my favorites for sure. I think it's because it would be a bit broken, probably. But yeah, he's fun, and he pairs really nicely with the next gym leaders, which may have influenced things, because the description I gave myself for this, so the gym leader, it's a flying gym, his name is Cirrus, and I was like, okay, and Cirrus is a type of cloud, and so I'm like, and his ace is gonna be like a little cloud guy, and Nimbuline here is exactly that, a cute little cloud guy, hanging out, being so fucking cute. That is it. This is a Mario enemy, I will say. Feels less like a Pokemon, more like a Mario enemy. Feels like Sooty falls more to Kirby enemy than it does. You know, there's a lot of, I'm gonna call it a bit of a Venn diagram with Kirby enemies and cute Pokemon. You know, you could swap them out pretty easily. But yeah, little cloud guy, little satellite guy. Is that a water electric beaver? I can't remember the type I gave it. Hang on, let me, I can't remember. It's not water electric. It's like electric ground? It's something like that. But it do be a beaver. We'll get to it, don't worry. I'm honestly flabbergasted there's only like 2 cloud Pokemon. I know, right? It feels, I guess it's easy to make a bunch of birds be your flying types, but I'm not good at drawing birds. Which is hilarious because there are so many fucking birds in Grim Magic. Because fairy tales love birds and I can't draw them. Oh, let me make sure everything's actually on screen here. If I remember correctly, you named your Altaria from your Violet Magical Girl playthrough Cirrus as well. I did. I am a big over. I will reuse names till the clouds come home. Till the clouds come home. Till the cows come home. And Cirrus is just such a good cloud themed name. because it is a type of cloud, but it actually feels like it could still be a name. You can't name someone Nimbus. I mean, I guess you can, but actually Nimbus falls short just because that's Goku's cloud, and so just people think of Dragon Ball Z, you know? Next up is our villains Pokemon, because I also have my evil villain team. And Slate is my rock type specialist, and his design kind of sucks. But Phineas here, ended up being a pretty cool looking Pokemon. Being a feline, and I can't even remember how I came up with that idea. I wrote Rock Cat as my, and I think I just wanted to, I think I wanted to kind of roll in a direction like Lycanroc. Because I didn't want to just do like Geodude again, and I was like, then pick a critter, you know, pick an animal, and make it a rock animal. Hello, welcome. My favorite gym leader, Cumulonimbus, exactly. Got here a little late. Have you already gone over the human designs? Nope, talking about Pokemans. Feline and Igneous, yep, nailed it 1000%, and I quite like rocks. Rocks are cool, and so I'm really actually quite proud with this idea of its claws being igneous rocks, basically. So this was pretty alright. This is another pretty dang decent Pokemon design, if I do say so myself. Me when I pull out my cloud Pokemon, Nimbostratus. I really like different clouds. I really enjoyed learning about the different types of cloud formations. I don't know why, but I just did. So I've retained that information since like the 3rd grade. Oh, okay. And then next up, I've got like my Google Doc open. So that's what I'm like, sometimes I have to look and see what I'm doing. Next up is fun because it's the Bug Gym. The Bug Gym, which was a double battle. I think every gym region should have a double battle, but the thing is they keep doing that, but it's just like one gym leader who just uses 2 Pokemon. Like they did that with Rhyme, the ghost type gym leader in Scarlet and Violet, and they also did that with Raihan, the dragon gym leader in Sword and Shield. And so it's like cool that we got some double battles, but I'm like, give me 2 people. And so, oh, it's a cat. I thought it was a fox. A fox! Fox weasel stoat cat, you know, feline adjacent. And so yeah, I was so excited to make my double battle, my Moth Monarch lineage. And okay, so, Motharch, which is the most obvious name, it's Moth and Monarch put together, is, hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just, you know, make sure you change some things. And it's basically Butterfree, Beautifly, it's all the pretty, you know, Vivian, it's all the pretty butterfly Pokemon that kind of squidged together. I'm realizing now I should have given it, like, bottom wings. It feels like it shouldn't be able to fly. It's a cute enough little design, but the strong one is clearly Bomberfly. Not only, what a good name, but also this design is it's very Ledian. I really looked to Ledian and Lediba, and I think it's good to have, like, ganked so many features from a Pokemon already existing so thoroughly, because it just resulted in a far better looking Pokemon. They're so Illumise and Volbeat coded. They are pretty Illumise and Volbeat coded. I think it would be kind of like, I think how this line would work is that it's a split gender evolution. That females evolve into Motharch and males evolve into Bomberfly. And, unlike most other bug types that do that, like Vespiquen or, Wormadam, you know, those things, they're both actually decent Pokemon, and it's not, so you want the female version because that one is good and usable, and the male version is Mothim, you know? That was based on the Kamaitachi yokai. Let me Google that really quick. Because I am familiar with some yokais. It's not out of the question for them to influence some designs. No, it is not based off of this. What a fun little guy, though. What a psycho. It's a stoat with, like, claws for hands. Wowee. I'll have to do something with that. I love the bug gym leaders. May be biased due to me being raised by my grandma, but whatever, lol. I like them a lot, too. I liked getting to play with the, kind of caterpillar moth gimmick with their designs. I think that was really fun. Pokemon needs to do more different types of rocks. Give me a limestone Pokemon. An olivine Pokemon. Give me a goddamn basalt Pokemon. I want a Pokemon that shatters it with your bare hands. Castricate, which I know sounds like it would be a cat or something. That is our... It also kind of sounds like Cricket. That's our Pikachu clone here. And I actually wrote down, it's Caster and Circuit. That's where its name comes from. So yeah, that's I can't remember what type I made it, but I went in very specifically wanting a beaver Pikachu clone because its typing was one that, like, 3 years ago didn't exist, and then I think it became a reality in Scarlet and Violet, whatever type I did choose to give it, that I can't remember. But I had thought, I was like, Pikachu clone should be a beaver. We should get a beaver Pikachu clone, and I made my own fate. Really want a metal-coated quartz Pokemon. Ooh, that would be cool. I'm imagining Bomberfly with an ability like Tatsugiri, so it just makes Mothork busted. That's a great idea. I didn't think about abilities. I thought, because I don't know all of them, like, offhand, and there's so fucking many. I wouldn't want to, like, scroll through the abilities, but I thought it would be fun, if, somebody out there was like, these Fakemon are fun, let's give them all cool abilities. Let's think of abilities from the Fakemon. So if that sounds like fun to you, do that, and then add me on Blue Sky or Twitter, because that does sound fun. I knew it was named after the castor gland Lamau. It makes sense. Beavers make dams. Dams for humans equals hydroelectric power. Exactly. And it fits so in. Welcome. Thank you, Cupcake Demon, for your mighty watch streak. It makes so, because, my region ended up with a very heavy environmentalism message. And it's because I was like, okay, what do the bad guys want? I need them to actually have a goal here, and not just be villains. And I decided to kind of work with, Team Aqua and Magma as sort of, kind of a standing off point, like, hey, we can return to that. We can return to that kind of idea. Norman Shauna. Okay, this is one of the, boringest Pokemon, I think. It's just fish. That's just a mudfish, and it's what it is. It's a mudfish. It's this is for another villain character for my gloomy swamp mermaid, effectively. Just gave her a mudfish, and it's like just a boring mudfish. I had written for her. Yeah, I literally wrote mudfish because I decided on her design, and so I was like, okay, then she needs like a swamp fish then. And mudfishes are pretty fascinating. They can exist for quite a long time out of water. And I reference that with, not only do I call it the mudfish Pokemon, but I also, in its Pokedex entry, mentioned that they're able to swim through gunk and mud with ease to catch their prey. So they'd probably have some ability that, like, has them be immune to poison, But yeah, this one's boring. Maybe it would evolve into something better. Yeah, it could totally become an Arapaima. Yeah, that's the thing. I like big, cool, creepy fishes, but that doesn't mean I'm good at drawing them. Cromandina, the tempered Pokemon. Cromandina was not supposed to look so much like Torkoal. And I was gonna have a little gag in the video where I go, by the way, This wasn't supposed to look like Torkoal, but then I forgot. It's fine. But it did become Torkoal. This is the Steel type gym leader, and I've had for the longest time the idea of a Steel type gym leader whose Pokemon is Steel Water, because that's the big thing. Everyone knows Steel is weak to fire. Steel's also weak to ground, and the water typing, like, gives it decent defense like that. And at first I was going to basically base it off a lot more off of like Dreadnought. And then I came up with it basically being a submarine instead, and that's why it's Steel Water. And I discussed some of that with like it modifying its buoyancy in its Pokedex entry. It's also part of where the name comes from, I believe. Chrome, obviously, and then the Dina part has to do with kind of like that water element changing its buoyancy. The boring mudfish is bored and barely wants to battle. Its stats are halved. But yeah, I think this one, it came out interestingly. I like the idea. And then I was like I drew it and I was like, nice. That's Torkoal. But I didn't want to change it. It's also a lot like some enemies in Chapter 4 of Deltarune. Which are like turtle incense guys, because it's, you know, it's a church level, so it makes sense. So whoopsies, we all just want smoke to come out of turtle shells. What can we say? Let's see. Oh, next up is the cutie pie standing next to Chromodina here. Inkanal. Oh my gosh, this is, I think, my favorite one. Look at how cute this guy is. He's so good. This is such a fun design. It's so cute. This is the dark type gym leader's Pokemon. Yes, it reads a whole lot more like Poison. I sort of forgot that she was dark and not poison, because and that is my fault, because I wrote for her, like, the description for her Pokemon is Mushroom Guy. And that could have easily been dark. Amoonguss is dark, I'm fairly certain. And the idea was for it to be Dark Fairy, hence Mushroom. You all know that, you know, I associate mushrooms with very magical girl coded, and she's got her cute Lolita dress, and I'm like, hell yeah, Dark Fairy, Mushroom, magical girl, and then I made him, it's so Poison. This is so Poison, and so I did change it to Dark Poison. He looks like an Umia Fire. I don't know what that is, I'm Googling it. But I'm so happy with its design. It's so damn cute. Umia Fire. I don't know what that is. Google didn't think it was doesn't think that's a real word. Nope, just trying to tell me about Media Fire. So, but yeah, good cute guy. I like that it's weirdly dino-esque, like Breloom. I know, right? Because it was gonna be like just walking on normal 2 legs, and then I was like, but what if it's like a critter, a creature back there? And I think that's for the best. I think a lot of things with Fakeamon is, what if you make it like a little creature back there, is usually the right answer. I think a lot of people overcomplicate Fakeamon. Humidifier. It all makes sense. I was like, Umidifier must be from some, like, game that I don't know. I remember thinking the turtle Pokemon resembled a steel teapot. We should have a turtle Pokemon that also looks like a teapot. You're right, we should. And we could pair it with, like, Sinistea, and that would be great. I think a lot of people struggle with Fakeamon designs, and this is coming from me, queen of not being good at Fakeamon. People make their fake Pokemon too overly complicated too often. Pokemon are not sharp. They're not complex. And I think that's where people get tripped up sometimes. And that's why I feel like I excelled at these cute little guys, because cute little guys are easy to be, it's easy to make them soft and simple, as it were. But yeah, Inkanal is so cute. Cryonite, the mineral Pokemon. Cryonite is its name betrays that the first part of its word is absolutely coming from crystal. It would be like Creonite, but that sounds worse. And I can't remember what the Onite comes from. Probably the same crap that like Magnemite's name comes from. But yeah, Cryonite is very. You can tell that this is we have Sandshrew at home. It's so. I think I even googled Sandshrew to see its face shape, because I knew I basically just wanted Sandshrew but with a cool gemstone on its back. And bonus fact, I think I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. I think this thing could evolve. By the way, I think this is not a final evolution. I think it could evolve again. But, for the shiny version, it kind of just gets darker, like a darker brown. And the gem stays the same. I was absolutely gonna change the type of gemstone, and then I was like, that's so much work. No, because all of these effects, like, the color is all on its own layer, and then there's shine, which is its own layer, and then like these like kind of like color splashes, these opalite kind of elements, that's its own layer. And I was like, I'm not changing all that. And then they make fan games and sprites are really janky and messy. I think if you're making a fan game, do the sprite work first. I think do the sprite work first and then be like, and exactly like how they did it with Pokemon. Ken Sugimori just drew how he saw the sprite work, and that's why so many sprites changed between the first handful of regions. But yeah, cutie patootie Pokemon right there. I really like Cryonite. Alagacha I think is one of my least favorite. I'm disappointed with Alagacha. It's our fighting type villains Pokemon. The idea was grappling an alligator, because I made her, like, she does capoeira, and capoeira has an element of grappling, and grappling especially is quite a common thing in a lot of fighting techniques. And alligators, I immediately, if I think of grappling, I think of alligators, because I'm a psychopath. But no, because alligators are quite good at it. They have really strong jaws. And you all probably know about their death roll, how alligators can clamp down on their prey, and then they start rolling to basically snap their meal's neck so they can eat them. And I thought to kind of do that, but then make it a Pokemon and not just make it an alligator. And I was like, and I can make it kind of like, a little bit like Hitmonlee, you know, something like that. And I think the end result is nothing all that good. It's kind of giving Battletoads, but in a bad way. We lose the alligator idea quite a lot. And the shape is bad, the silhouette's bad, it barely looks like a Pokemon. I think this one is the weakest of my Fakeamon. So huge bummeroni. Yeah, we have Caesar at home, yeah. These are just Caesar's clamps. So, you know, I could have done the idea a lot better. I think in hindsight, I would make it like a, like a little, like a Hydra. Basically, get rid of this head part, get rid of the head, and make the arms actually the heads, and, kind of make the, make this, like, real mouths. And so it could be a silly, weird little sort of, a little bit more like, Skull Villain. I think that would have been better. But hindsight's 2020. What are you gonna do? But, this was another double battle, with Cloven. Cloven is our Ghost-type specialist's Pokemon. Its name is, I know it just sounds like Cloven, which is what, like, horses are. They have cloven hooves. But also, it is a reference to coven. It's spelled like coven, like a witch's coven. Because it's, the ghost-type specialist, and so I wanted to pull from, you know, some classic spooky imagery, like witches and ravens and horses, you know, nightmares, that kind of idea. I think I fused all these ideas together a lot better than I did with, fucking Grapploct or whatever the fuck I call it, or Alagacha, that's what it was. Especially considering, by the way, my words for these, it was fight guy, so I really left myself with no kind of description on how to actually design this Pokemon, and then shadow guy, so I'm glad I actually stuck the landing on at least one of these. I was driving, but I wanted to say that the steel water turtle could be like a Diglett-Wiglet situation. It could be. Allison had suggested that too, where they, yeah, it's similar, but it's not a regional variant, yeah. Also, thank you for Spyrite. Yes, it will probably be busted with Flamethrower and Moonblast, and yes, I will abuse that power. Fight Guy and Shadow Guy Lamau, yeah. I was also really happy with Cloven's description, in that, these Pokemon will gather in large groups when the moon is full, referencing the witch's coven idea, and then some believe that you can hear them galloping towards you when a dream becomes a nightmare. Dog, that's sick. That's such a good one. I love this one. It's so weird. And you know what this is? This is a Dragon Quest enemy. This is almost verbatim. Very similar to different Dragon Quest enemies. I'm especially thinking of like, there's like a bull, like a bird bull thing. It's probably, I think it's called a Buffalo Bill. I'll be honest. I'll Google it. And it's incredibly that. Dragon Quest Buffalo Bill images. Yeah. Let me copy that really quick and show you guys that it's like, okay, yeah. So I made a decent looking Fakeamon, and it's because I based it off of, it's this. It's a Dragon Quest enemy. So there you go. When in doubt, copy someone else's homework. We're just doing art for fun anyway. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys think the ghost type is weird. I think it ought to be. Felsic, our volcanic gas Pokemon. Felsic that one's pretty obvious. It's clearly named after the volcanic gas, which was a huge part of it. I think this doesn't feel like a final evolution surely, but maybe it's one of those sleeper final evolutions where it's just a tiny little guy, and then it's like, but it's got like a base stat total of like 500, and it's like, why? All I knew is I wanted a volcano, you know, since Helen, she's named after Mount St. Helens, the fire type gym leader, she's on a volcano, she's named after a volcano, she's very volcano coded, and so I was like, volcano Pokemon, and I think originally gonna basically make Torkoal again. My idea was for like a shelled volcano Pokemon, very similar to like Torkoal and Camerupt. And then I was like, no, I don't want to just do Torkoal again. I don't want to copy Camerupt. So what if it's just kind of like Shelder? And it's just like a little volcano guy. And I love that it's shiny, its little feet's turned blue. Cloven would probably get an anime episode like Malamar, where they brainwash an entire city. Oh, 100%. 1000. Jessie would own a Cloven. I can't even explain this, but she would. Felsic feels like a Pincurchin situation. Yeah, but do you evolve? Don't need to. As mine, yeah. Felsic means iron-rich magma, by the way. Fun fact. It is, yep, yeah. That's another thing, something Pokemon love to do. Use a normal word, but make the C's K. Coughing? Oh, no. This is coughing, but it's spelled like K-O-F-F. They love changing C's to K's in Pokemon, and so that's a good way to make your Pokemon feel like it's like, oh yeah, that's a real Pokemon. It starts with a K instead of a C. Here, give me a second to blow my nose. Don't want to blow my nose directly into the microphone. I hate when like streamers do that. It's like, brother, mute yourself for a second. And then we get to another pretty mid one, I'll be honest. It's not terrible, but it's it's not that good. Another offender of drawing big guys is hard. Cryvern. Crying wyvern, that's where it gets its name from. And mostly I just had the idea of the name. Wyverns do not have arms, but also, like, I didn't give this guy really wings. Its spines kind of become wing-esque, but that's also already kind of like a design thing I did with, Wrench already, and much better as well. Also, his spines are, like, not even. The face is kind of weird. The body shape is pretty bad. I think a decent artist could make this into a cool Pokemon. I'm just not that artist. I'm willing to toot my horn where it belongs, but I'm just not that good at big, especially reptiles. Gotta make the word exotic, exactly. Electric is the most ridiculous of these. Yeah. Electric's pretty crazy. When in doubt on a name, overemphasize that pronunciation can get a weird spelling, you know? That does do a lot. How you pronounce things like Pylobish. This is the final gym leader. Pylobish. I put a lot of effort into Pylobish because I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. So this is a psychic type gym leader. And I wrote Smart Dolphin as my, like, example for what to, like, work with. Because dolphins are really smart. They're smart little guys. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can make a psychic dolphin. And then the only thing I was thinking of was, Palafin. And I'm like, well, I don't want just Palafin. And so I was looking up dolphins and they're kind of similar flavored, kin. And what I actually found are pilot whales. And this was, what perfect luck, because, Captain Hart, with a gym leader who uses Pylobish, was a pilot. And so I find the pilot whale, and I go, oh, and they're ugly little guys. But you know, they're some of the smarter, kind of dolphin to whale. They're a similar family. And I was like, yes. And so I used, you know, the general shape of like a bottlenose dolphin, but I wanted to try to incorporate features of the pilot whale. And then also I made it like a torpedo, working with kind of that pilot idea. In a way. Yeah, torpedoes are used by submarines, but what is a submarine but just a plane underwater, you know? I thought it was like Giraffe Rig, but a penguin. No, yeah, it's a dolphin. I'm just not good at drawing dolphins. And I'll admit that. I'll admit that all day. I do call it the lobe fish Pokemon, I believe. Yeah, the lobe fish Pokemon, because I wanted to, pilot whales are like, they've got these like, they're known as, like, lobe whales as well, or something like that. They've got a lot of, like, brain bullshit happening, so they got these big-ass heads. And so, yeah, I tried to reference that with the title as well. Pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty happy with that one. I'm proud of that one, and I'm glad I wrote all that down. I needed to. I'm like, I'm not gonna remember any of this. Kind of love it, but the color scheme is kind of whack. Me in my pile of Zweilous fractures and Shelgons. Yeah, the color for Cryvern is pretty crazy. Just brown, and I wanted to work with it like burrowing, but meh, what are you gonna do? Dolphins are a whale, but with actual teeth. It makes dolphins a little scarier, doesn't it? Pylobish, I think you nailed the spelling. I really like this one. Looks like the Veluza of the seas. Veluza is a Pokemon that feels like it ought to be better than it is. Entering into the Elite Four, we've got everyone's favorite thespian. Everyone really liked Figaro, which I'm so happy with. And we've got Seraphim. Actually, it's Spheraphim, I believe. Spheraphim, yeah, because it's sphere, you know, ball. and then like a seraphim, which is a type of angel. For him, I knew I wanted, I had his design. And so for his Pokemon, I just wrote Star. I was like, Star Pokemon. I'll figure that out. And this is another one, I pulled a lot of cues from like Curlia. Another cute little Pokemon like that, with these like funny legs. And I'm shockingly happy with how this turned out for basically me blacking out and waking up and oh wow, there's a Pokemon. I love Spirifim. Such a goofy little guy. Totally goofy. These eyelash things are ludicrous and makes it look so sad and angry at the same time. The bell star shape question mark headpiece is weird. I like that it's all weird. I like that it's weird, and it's good because it's a fairy type. And I think fairies feeling a little hard to like fully grasp is I like that. I'm really happy with its title and Pokedex entry being the rising star Pokemon. Seraphim are most often found on nights with meteor showers. Some believe the Pokemon shoot upwards in hopes of replacing the fallen stars. And the idea for this whole star motif was the idea that Figaro, like, used to be really active in the theater and has since retired. And so, like a fallen star. Like, it's not, he's still, kicking and everything. But he's not on the stage anymore. And that's where all that kind of came from. Which, a cool theme, if I do say so myself. What a cutie patootie, thank you. Mimikyu, but the inside is cute and the outside is a freako. Next up, one of the name's fascinating, Bodcod. So this one, I'm cheating, I cheated. This is poison, and I was like, just do muck. I'm like, just draw a pile, give it eyes, make a muck. And it's a little lamprey coated with this mouth. Sea lampreys are basically big leeches. It's what the Kezu is based off of in Monster Hunter. Yeah, I was just like, draw a pile of sludge. Bodcod, the name, comes from, it's two acronyms in relation to sewage. Because I looked up sewage and information about it to try to find a good name, and BOD is like an acronym for types of, like, a type of waste, and COD is an acronym for a different type of waste. And I just fused those together and made the name Bodcod. And so there we go. I like this one because it was really easy to do. Also, I fully ganked Muck and Grimer. Their earlier Pokedex entries discuss, like, eating sewage, living in sewers and living off of the poisonous bullshit that, people have in big cities. And so yeah, Bodcod basically does the same thing, but I was like, what if I had a Pokemon that could clear out my drains? Since my drains are always clogged up. Well, my golly dang ol' hair. Twycross was a crazy name pull, by the way. Thank you. I'm really proud of it. I thought about not doing that, but I could not think of any better name. So yeah, I think I like that it's long. I like having some short names and some really long names. I feel like if everyone's name is just 2 syllables, it becomes boring. Listen, we need a Sludgemon in the environmental story. We do. It's important. Gazania, which pretty clearly is named after... Actually, it's not even Gazania. It is Gazania. It's named after Gazanias, which is a type of flower. And Gawain. Yeah, it's Xanias and Gawain, because it's a knight. It's because Chrysanthemum is another long-ass name, and she's the grass type. Elite Four member. She's got a very, like, princess kind of aesthetic to her, and so I was like, a princess needs a knight, of course, and so her ace is her little knight, and so yeah, it's Gawain, which is the green knight from Arthur's Round Table, and then Xanias, which are a flower that is this pretty orange flower. I specifically try to look for orange flowers to work well with the green. The rest of this design, it's very Hawlucha. I basically fused together elements of Hawlucha and then Shiftry. And I think it worked out. I think it's okay. It could be a whole lot worse. His shiny, this shiny is the one that I fucked up the most times. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I was just continually doing things on the wrong layer. And not only, like, it was a bummer because I had all these, like, this pattern was just in the color. Like, there's no line art separating things. And I had gradients that I needed to clean up. Like, I had to do the gradient and then, like, make sure none of it was on the arm. And so, yeah, just bonus factoid, this is the shiny whose coloring I just fucked up the most trying to make it happen. I respect the short grass queen and her knight. I think we all should. Because, listen, she's a grass type user in the Elite Four. She's gonna get fucking stomped. She's gonna get absolutely trash canned. Everyone can handle grass. Even with, this is a grass fighting type, if I do remember correctly, and it's still gonna get absolutely just whooped, because grass is pretty weak. I'm desperately trying to think of a Pokemon character's name that has now more than 2 syllables. Crasher Wake? Crasher Wake technically counts, yeah. Giovanni. Yeah, we got Giovanni. Most names are 2 syllables. That's the thing. So it's tough to get too creative with it all the time. Janine? Nope. Janine is just a long name that is 2 syllables. Yeah, a flying type is absolutely gonna... Yeah, just get dunked on, for sure. Brassius, there you go. Nemona, good job. Low-key, the design reminds me of Hawlucha. High-key, the design was based off of Hawlucha. And then Forge. Forge is spelled like a Ford, like to Ford, F-J-O-R-D. And then Forge, a Forge. Because the idea was kind of like being tempered, being ice and fire here. Adding fire, to me, seemed like the only way to make ice type viable. Because ice types are just, they're strong in the offensive, but they are quite weak. Professor Kukui, Kukui is multiple like 3 syllables, so yeah. Give her a chlorophyll team with Meowscarada, easy done. She made it to the Elite Four, she's definitely not weak, even being a grass type trainer. Yeah, I suppose. You can't just say someone's first and last name. Samuel. Oh, kids. If you stretch the rules, Samuel. You could say Samuel. Like it's 3 syllables. Samuel. Yeah, for this one I was just like, okay, let's add fire to ice. And I have no idea how I came up with this. I think at first I was like, making a normal guy. And he's another one that looks a lot like a Kirby enemy. I'm like, just make a guy. And then I was like, what if I put the legs up here? Like, I was gonna have like a normal shaped dude. And then instead he looks like he'd go, and then like stomp down on Mario, doesn't he? Like just ice thwomp. But yeah, what a fun design. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. He's a really good one. Is he the last one? Is Forge? No, of course, we got Ovitar! Ovitar, Blanche's signature Pokemon. By this point, I've become a lot more confident in drawing Pokemons, and it helps that I have drawn more Pokemon, for other things I'm doing that you all will learn about in some time. Those are legs? Ew, yeah. Yeah, Necklastack eyes. It's Forge is giving kind of the Golurk sort of vibes. But yeah, Ovitar is the Blanche's signature, so the normal type villain. And so yeah, I think this one turned out really well. Pretty cool. It helps that it's hard to fuck up a Minotaur, you know? And the hardest part was figuring out what type I wanted it to be. Because I was like, oh man, if I double up with Ghost, then, you know, Raven's already got that. That's the Ghost type guy. And I'm like, ooh, but normal Ghost kind of fucks, doesn't it? But yeah, what a cool Pokemon. The fun trick here. First up, Pokemon love doing this. This is the things I had learned by this point. First up, Pokemon love having, like, fur but like fur pants, basically. Having furry Pokemon have their little fur pants. I think you can find this on like Lucario or Zoroark. And then the other thing, I was like, okay, I'm drawn basically a bull, and then I was like, oh, what if I just fuck up the eyes? And there you go. How do you make an interesting Pokemon? Just give him one eye. Little tusks, the tusks that almost give mandible. And there you go. But yeah, the furry pants is I think a huge boon to having it actually look like a Pokemon. Halo horn, yeah, halo horn and one eye, and it's very me-coded suddenly. Suddenly it's like, oh wow, yeah, Twiins designed this, you know? So yeah, and that should be the last one other than the legendaries. That's all the Pokemon that I've made. We can take a gander at the legendaries if you want, but I explained those ones with relatively thoroughly in the adventure. Do you want to see the hideous first version I had of one of them? Ew, bad, gross. So the worm, yeah, the ground one, because it's earth and sky, and I drew this, and then I fully rendered it. You can see, you can see I've got all this like lighting and everything, and then I was like, so this looks bad. So I just did it again. It is giving Golden Calf vibes. You're so right. That is certainly an attempt. It is an attempt. There's features that you can see in Pokemon. I think the eye is pretty Pokemon, but it's also really big. Why did I do it like that? So this is just Twiins coming at ya, super hot, letting you know that hey, it's okay that you fucked up. And I think the big thing is I was worried about, I didn't want to just make Orthworm, and I didn't want to make Rayquaza again. I even made a shiny version of this. I forgot I did that. And then I made the actual versions of these, and so this became this. And it's like, okay, there we go. Better shape, good shape language, actual proportions. And so, you know, don't give up. Just because you fucked up once doesn't mean you can't do it better again. Seems ribbed for no one's pleasure. The idea was to give worm. That's the not transparent background really pulls it together. See, that is a transparent background. See, it shows up like this in the program because there is no background. The thing is, Google will lie to you. If you see a Google image and you see these squares, then it's a lie. But yeah, these are actually, this is the picture with like my layers. So, but yeah, there's still no background back there. But yeah, yippee. Yeah, I wanted to make a worm. And, basically Quetzalcoatl. And they came out fine enough. Pretty okay. It is the same, that's the thing. I drew this one's, like rough, and I was like, okay, so this one clearly looks better. So just copy and paste, flip it. Okay, there we go. Now we got the other one. Sometimes you gotta screw up the recipe before you understand what you're cooking. An amazing way of putting it. He had a glow up at least. It's true. I could have been lazy and just left it with the bad version. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't have this good looking thing standing next to Chunko Worm. So yeah, yippee. Let's take a gander at some people. Drop it down, flip it, and reverse it. Exactly. Use those tools to your advantage. Basically playing the electric slide. No. Slide to the left. Everybody clap your hands. What song is that? Do any of the olds know anymore? Let's grab some characters. How are we gonna do this? I've got them individually, and then I've got them in their like group kind of shots. We'll do it like that. There we go. Here we go. The protagonist, Casper Slide. Is it called the Casper Slide? That's a crazy name for it. Thank you. I knew you would know. Let's talk about some people. Yippee! Okay, so Sky and Terra. I talk about them quite a lot in the video. How obviously being Earth and Sky themed for the game, I wanted them to be Earth and Sky themed. I drew him first. He came first because I knew what I was doing. I knew where I wanted to go, and so he basically I figured out the outfit with him. And I was gonna be like, and now what do I do for her? And I was like, just do the same thing again. What are you doing? I love Sky so much. The blonde hair is so inspired. Thank you. I had someone say that it wasn't actually, and I was like, boy, get out of here. Like, okay, have your opinion, but I cannot say that this looks as boring and default as all the other boys with black hair. But yeah, he do be a bit of quite the cutie. I'm also really happy with the white leggings and white backpack and her black leggings and black backpack. I talk about how it makes her feel grounded. It gives him cloud, makes him feel lighter. But it's so good. Well done. Thanks, Self. You gotta have your Pokemon adventurer have cool hats. I was really happy with the sort of Pokeball design on their pockets. The gloves are good. The shoes are even decent. And I never draw decent shoes. The trick, you just add a couple extra bullshits to Converse. There you go. He does seem light and bouncy. And I'm glad that I thought of making that their personalities. One of my favorite shots is it's Sky being like, oh, maybe it'd be easier if you had a full team of Pokemon. And then it smash cuts to to Terra saying, you need 6 Pokemon. It does end up giving Powerpuff Girls. I mean, you know, pink, blue, green, and it do be how it is. I like how Sky's hair goes up while Terra's is more downward. Neat stuff. Thank you. I was quite diligent about that as well. I had Ken and Sky and Terra as cousins. They just give cousin vibes to me for some reason. They do look pretty similar. They do have different skin tones. It can be tough to tell. Her skin is a little bit more olivey. And I do lament, I think I had wanted to make her skin tone darker, but I was worried about it ending up clashing with the red and orange in her hair. So I feel like I could have pushed this more, but I'm not dissatisfied with it. It's just, you know, we already have a whole lot of pretty pale ass characters in Pokemon. But that being said, Pokemon is like the one company that actually goes out of its way to have dark skinned characters that actually look good and have like interesting characters to them. So I can't be too mad about it. They're doing the best out there. They seem like a someone will die of fun dynamic, yeah. Holly, and I mentioned this in the video that Holly really just came to me. And what fun. I wanted her to be clearly different from Sky and Terra, but their silhouettes are still pretty similar with like the bell-shaped hoodie and then her skirt. I was really proud of, and it's all just basically like kind of casual Lolita in a way. This is effectively Lolita clothing, just green and yellow. And I was glad somebody said that they were really happy in the comments. They were so happy to hear that she was colored after the green versions and then also kind of the yellow ones, like, you know, Pikachu and stuff. And they were just really glad to see that kind of representation, and I was happy to see that. Also, this is a cute detail that you basically never see because you mostly see characters from like the hips up, but she got a little apple guy, little applin on her dress. I thought that was a fun little detail. Holly, look at that pleasing green and the applin patch. I'm so happy with the shade of green. I think I was really particular with the green. I was very like, this needs to be a nice green. I didn't want it to be muddy. I didn't want it to be too foresty. But I didn't want it to be too bright, and I'm really glad that I found a good shade there for her. I also forgot its name. You all heard me wander across half of its line. So, really fun. It all started with these three. I drew them first, I'm fairly certain, and they kind of set the tone. for everything to come. I definitely colored them first. And then we'll go down the line. We'll start with the gym leaders. And I drew them in order. So I started with Elvira and Cirrus here. And there's 2 per page because I drew them on paper. And then I scanned that paper. And this is like, you know, an 8 by 11 like printer paper. And so the two characters fit on it. So that's why they'll be paired up like this. And it's just because that's the order of how things went. But it did end up kind of, I think, subconsciously connecting some of them. I think Elvira and Cirrus would hang out. And there are some other pairs that I think feel connected in ways. So yippee. I also really like Holly's braid buns. I had a lot of fun. I just looked up like African hairstyles. And I had a lot of fun kind of deciding which ones to kind of incorporate into Holly. And I thought the buns were fun because they gave kind of a bit of a flowery idea, working really well with her grass green sort of color palette in a way. But here we are, Elvira. Elvira is a very cool name. Elvira has been my go-to electric girl name since I was in like middle school. So that's like age like 12 for those of you who don't know how American school systems work. And yeah, I drew her, and so I was, what a fun pose as well. This has got to be the coolest pose that I came up with. Everyone else is kind of just standing around, and she looks so hip. And I was like, I should go with yellow. I want to go with teal. She's gonna look like Miku. I want to go with teal. And so, oops, I made Miku. She's another one that has a Pokeball design on her shirt. When in doubt, just make it Pokeball. People love that. The Pokemon Company loves Pokeballs. But she's so cool. I don't think I even looked up anything as reference for her. I had the idea of the silhouette already in my head. Everything kind of was just already there, and the fishnets are really fun. I think they add a lot of nice kind of texture to her. And then the one cool thigh high with like, it's supposed to look like, you know, that you know, a sound system showing you the volume levels. That was that idea. The boots are cool. This is also a great example, I think, of it's okay to have just two things of the same color touching. Black sock, black boot, and it still looks good. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. She's asymmetrical because she's hip. Of course. The pose gives the PNG. Gives the PNG that shows before the Oris gym battle fight. It so does. Elvira, Roxy, and Pierce could perform together. They hyper could. Paper size limitation induced shipping. Yeah, so yeah, she was so easy. Cirrus was harder. He does look, the idea was for all this to look like clouds. It does look like waves. It looks like waves. It ended up looking like waves. They look like cirrus clouds, but unfortunately, it gives wave. Oops. Oh well. The biggest thing I wanted was his silhouette for this big poncho, and then his black legs are like holding up the sky, you know? I think he would be so cool in motion. Ooh, ooh, he'd be great in the third dimension, and in motion he would look awesome. And I really like this hair. This hair is really pretty. I like, you know, one eye covered hair designs. And Pokemon is not afraid to just be like, and then the hair, you know, you just fuck with it. Pokemon has some cool ass hair. And so feeling like I was allowed to just dead ass draw wooshy clouds for his hair. So fun. Super fun. This is also, we're gonna figure out, I really like yellow eyes. He's got yellow eyes. She has yellow pupils. These are not gonna be the only yellow eyes you see. But yeah, he's cool. I'm really happy with how he turned out, even though he gives way more water than he gives flying. Especially that ponytail. I love the ponytail, but I understand why one would get Waves vibes. I asked Critter and I asked Allison. I actually was gonna have a video. I've got the audio recorded. This was a million years ago when I first started working on, like, I'd finished all the human designs. And then I got into a video call with Critter, and I was like, so I'm gonna have you look at all the designs and guess what type they use. And I was gonna do a video about that, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of boring. My audio also, I recorded the audio with my webcam on accident, so. But yeah, she was like, that one's water. This one's obviously water. And Allison also was like, this one is water? What I was just asking her, so, you know, I get it. But oh well. Yellow eyes, what a rarity that I'm sure will never come up again. So let's open up the next one. That's the first and second gym leader. And then we've got number 3 and 4. So yeah, Kaya and Cecilia are so fun. Their names are based, like, directly pulled from the caterpillar and moth that they are referencing, which is the Atlas moth. The biggest moth in North America, I believe. It's certainly the biggest one you can find in Animal Crossing. And the reason I chose that was actually because not only does the moth look basically exactly like this, she is just wearing the moth wing pattern as a dress, which is really fun. And then her hair is directly designed to look like the antennae. They've got like fuzzy, cute little antennae, very cute. But then also because its caterpillar looks exactly like this. It's little green guys with like blue, yellow, and red like spikes all over them. They look like a Pokemon. And I was like, obviously I'm turning that into a character design. And it was a lot of fun. It was nice because, so she's a little kid. So first of all, I got to make her like a little pudgy because kids are just little fat potatoes. But also it meant I got to make her kind of ugly in that kids wear clothes because they like it, not because it looks good. And so this dress is so, like, that's a costume, and it's her favorite costume. She wears it every day, and she probably on purpose chose her mismatched sock and hair tie accessories because she thought that made her look cool, and she's right. And the messy hair to evoke the look of the little spikes of the caterpillar. It's just such a fun little dynamic that they totally have as well. They give so much personality. What's this type? It's water. It's flying. Fuck! No. Her mom didn't check to see that what she was wearing before they left, but now that's too late, yeah. I didn't really, I think it would be, so this is grandma, this is granddaughter. I think dad is like a connecting point between them. I think mom wouldn't be in the picture, and that's why it's the grandma and granddaughter and not like mom and son kind of a thing. I think it's just very like, the ladies handle the gym. That's just how we do things around here. But I didn't want to design dad because that sounded boring. He'd be like an NPC, you know? I love all these colors because the mismatched choices feel justified. I know, right? Isn't it nice? That's a big thing about like pulling from references. I pulled from references a lot for these characters. And doing that, the world is quite good at naturally giving you color palettes that actually work. And then we got Stella. Stella, what a cool design. I'm really happy with her hair. Her hair feels the most like a Pokemon hair. It's not dissimilar to things like Time, which is from Scarlet and Violet. It's just very already rock coated hair. So she's super cool. I wanted her to look way buff. I feel like I struggled with that. I was like, make her arms buff and strong, you know. I don't know. I felt like they were either looking goofy, and then I'd be like, but become stronger. And I mentioned that when it like snows, this is exactly what my boss wears. So I just stole the outfit from him. She is really cool. Everyone likes Stella. I mean, how can you not like her? I really like that I decided to go with her being the foreman, you know, the one in charge at the, like, her construction site. Not only does it make her more interesting, because we've already got, like, Rourke, you know, but because it's just, like, what a fun way of doing it, being like, so yeah, she's really strong, but she's a steel type because she's smart. Like, that's the connection. The steel coated mind. Like, she's like a genius and doing construction because she's super smart and cool, and not just steel equals strong and also Jasmine is here. You know? So yeah, Stella's colors rule. I wanted to kind of keep with like a rust idea with these suspenders, but I wasn't too beholden to evoking. We got more yellow eyes. They're technically like a gold. I wanted them to be like a coppery, bronzy kind of deal. That's why I actually had a good reason for that one. But yeah, more yellow eyes. But yeah, I wasn't too worried about the palette. I don't know. I accepted. I'm like, let's do it exactly like how Big Boss does it. And hey, it looks great. No, we don't need to save whatever the fuck I did. So the next gym leaders are, I think, my favorite pair. This should be obvious. It's Jewel and Alice. Oh my gosh. Okay, starting with Jewel. Jewel is probably one of the... I'm really happy with Jewel. In across the board, Jewel looks great. She is my dark type gym leader, and you can tell, if you're smart, if you pay attention, she's got little dark type symbols on her collar here. And like I mentioned in the video, I pulled from like 2 or 3 different Lolita dresses that I kind of just like squished together, their design elements, which is why she looks so good, because I just drew real clothes and put it on her. And the hair is so fun, having this big long hair, and then thinking to make an orange, because my natural idea is like, oh, I'll make it white or black. But the orange pops so well. It looks so good. Also, bonus fact, when in doubt, make it a Pokeball. These are just like tassels of a string here. And it's like, yeah, but also they're Pokeballs. I love her. Yeah, she smiles while watching horror movies. She's also a little tough to tell. She's got cute little freckles. We don't get to zoom in on her face too much. This hairstyle is also very unique for me. I'm not often one to do like this kind of blunt, soft arc bang. I think it turned out pretty decent. Her face doesn't even look that bad. I wanted her to look like a doll, which is why I also went ham with the eyelashes. And I think I pulled it out. I think I did all right. The big bow as the hair accessory, that's iconic. That's classic. The color palette is so nice. I can understand why people could think, oh, it's Ghost. She's pretty scary. She's haunted doll. I so get that. Look at these hands as well. I put a lot of effort in these hands. These fingers are a little thin, but you know, goddamn, I drew all of them. So proud of myself for that. This one's definitely better. Look at that hand. Wowee. Golly, just what a great silhouette. She's giving everything. This is a perfect design, if you ask me. And she's on the same page as the most handsome fellow, Captain Legs for Days, Alice. She's scary, but it's probably really nice. Yeah, she's also, she would be voiced by, you know, Mitsuri in Demon Slayer? And she's got her high-pitched little voice. It's so cute, and oh my gosh, there's so many handsome Hashira. That's what she would sound like. Alice, the handsomest guy. I put all the things I like in a fellow onto a man. Handsome, tired eyes, cool sideburns, pretty long hair, cool glasses, a shitload of rings. Obviously, I like this guy. He's groovy. I love all this. So, oopsies. That's why he's my, Twiins just drew her dream husband. I had no idea what I was doing for ground. And then I think I kind of was just like, yeah, I was like, okay, let's go with like crystals. Yeah, like selling crystals, underground crystals, that kind of a thing. And then I was like, okay, cool, Self, how are we gonna do that? And I was like, sexily. Hadoy. We don't zoom in too much. You can see it at the very end. All these, he's got so much jewelry on him. He's got this pretty pink earring. He's got the necklace. He's got multiple rings across everything. He's holding up this necklace, because it would totally support your strength chakras or whatever it is. He's got this bracelet. So yeah, it was a lot of fun outfitting him. He is, I will say, this is the design. Like, if I were reviewing my own designs, everything is up here, and then you've got 5,000 feet of legs with nothing going on. And I think that is for the best, since there's already so much going on up here. I don't want to overcomplicate these pants. It does just mean his legs are the most boring part. Also, the flared pants, I don't know. Somehow I rendered them weirdly. They they end up looking kind of weird. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I can still see so much of his shoe, even though these flares are quite large. I don't know, but I cherish this man. Atlas is such a fun way to depict a rock-type trainer. Thank you. He is ground, though. And everyone makes that mistake, because of course you do. Crystals are rocks. But yeah, ground has a lot of variety already, so I really felt at a loss. So I'm glad I came up with an idea that at least is interesting. I mean, sometimes we need to make a design that we know is for our pleasure, because who's gonna stop us? Exactly. I'm an artist, so I can draw all the things I like the best. Tries to sell gems while fighting him. Next up, we've got another very cool combo here. Helen and Captain Hart. So Helen, like I mentioned, she's named after Mount St. Helens. And I'm so happy with his hair. I was so excited to draw this hair. I was so excited. Because it looks like magma. I had this idea, and I was like, it's gonna look so good. And then I did it, and I was like, it does! I immediately saw Diggers when I saw Atlas, and I was so happy to see he was one of your inspirations for him. Hell yeah. And I think that's what it was. I think around that time, I was dabbling in, Reverse 1999. And I was looking at characters and I was like, this guy is so cool. Oh, what if I do that for ground? And so yeah, I engage with art to break your, when you're stumped, to break that blockage. The rest of her design is a little basic, like I say, it's a cute park ranger. Most park rangers actually wear, like, pants. You know, because you're walking around in parks, so you're gonna get cuts and boo-boos all over your legs. But I was like, this is cuter, though. I wanted her to look cute. And so she kind of gives the campers in, like, Johto, you know, and, like Kanto, the camper class, you know, characters, the NPCs you can fight. Which is fun, but of course flavored like a volcano. These elements, these shields, they look like steel. They're kind of like steel. I have worn gloves like these and the shin guards like these in school when we were pouring brass. We poured metals, and I made a heart. I made a brass heart. Covered in blood. I still have it. I used to keep it under my bed, but then I kicked it one day, and so now I've got it in my my glass case. Anyway, yeah, you wear these when you're like pouring metals. And there is and I have it in the video, like a full suit you're supposed to wear. But I just wanted her to. I wanted the implication of protection, but for her to still be cute. There's a huge trend of anime girls with different hair colors on the underside of their hair, and Helen is another cute one. I know, and I think it's a cool trend. I think it can end up being overdone, but I think a healthy mix of some just one color and some gradients and some streaks. I think it's so fun. It makes the world feel vibrant. Every character is their own unique person in a way. Damn, I wish I did that in school. Well, I did that in college, so, you know. And it was a big to-do. We only had, 4 suits, and so we had to, alternate out, and the teacher had to always be present when pouring was happening, because just in case something happened, and something did happen, somehow something happened, and we were, so we were in, a little, kind of like a yard. Doing all of our stuff, pouring things, sawing crap, you know, it was sculpture. And it was this, and everyone thought it was gonna be like chiseling, and instead we were like welding, which I thought was fun. And then I notice that the field of like dry dead weeds on the other side of the fence, I'm like, oh fuck, there's a fire. And I've mentioned this on stream before, and it still makes me laugh. Just getting my teacher's attention, and I was laughing too hard. I couldn't say anything. I just point, and he looks, and he goes, oh, and he handled it very efficiently. He did. This man was 5'0". He was so short. He was built like a pit bull. And seeing him like run over to get the fire extinguisher, and the reason why I was so, I was so just caught off guard by all of it, but two, it was because I was fairly certain we were able to handle it, you know, efficiently, but it was just, what a funny experience. Also, I'm proud of her pockets. The pockets really make this go from being like kind of a nothing outfit to being like, well, that's a park ranger. that's a park ranger right there. Goddamn. So yeah, Helen is super cute. I love her. Captain Hart, my beloved, and I only say that because I'm glad that I figured out what the fuck to do, because I was like, psychic. Gotta have psychic. And then I was like, psychic types don't do shit. They're all weird. They're all just like, Sabrina is just like a girl. She's just weird. She's just a gal bumming around. And a lot of them are librarians or something. Like, they like to read or write. And I'm like, I don't want to do that again. And so yeah, I figured out, make him a veteran. And I'm so happy with that. And from there, I was like, okay, veteran. Gonna go with specifically pilot, because I just wanted him to be different from Lieutenant Surge. I was like, because Surge was how the idea came to me, and then I was like, okay, but now I don't want to just do Lieutenant Surge, but with purple hair. And so, one, make him, like, kind of a fuckboy, you know, a bit more of a twink versus Surge being, you know, a bit stronger. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll put him in the air as well. He does have hair pretty similar to Ram. I didn't mean to do that. Listen, he's another one where I was like, okay, and now what do? Make him fuckable. And so, again, my biggest goal was to give him these big-ass sideburns. I really like big sideburns. The cool purple sunglasses. Basically, like, aviators are tinted anyway, but I'm like, yeah, I'll just steal the cool purple sunglasses from, Lucian. Insino. I can't remember what his eye color actually is. Hang on. Is this you? Okay, let's see what they are. I think they're silver. Nope, they're a light purple. So there you go. A little look behind the curtain. Can anyone figure out, does anyone know what his badges are for? I mentioned in the video that I did give him very specific, like brass, you know, like pins here. Can anyone figure out what they are for? The rest of the design, it's pretty simple. These brown pants are basically what I saw, for ceremonies and things. You know, I need to get dressed up kind of pants. And then the greens, obviously, you know, the camo. And then a classic fighter pilot jacket, but I made it purple. Air Force IDK. Well, I appreciate you for at least guessing. So this is captain's. That's the captain pin. 2 bars with like 2 bars, you know, with the lines between them. So that designates his status, and that does go on the collar like that. And I looked all this up. This is how I thought of to do any of this in the first place. Because I was looking at Lieutenant Surge, and I was fascinated by he's been decorated. You can see pins in some of his designs, and they don't always look right. Like, they don't evoke necessarily like captain's pins properly, or what have you. But also, I was like, okay, but that is also... And it's tough, because how do you look that up? Because he used to be the Lightning American, so he would be decorated in the American memorabilia, but like, designed by a Japanese company, so I don't know. Anyway, Captain Heart's other badge here, that is an allusion to a Purple Heart. So a Purple Heart, in case you don't know, is if you get injured while in on the field. You get a medal, you get the Purple Heart, and then you get to go home. The Purple Heart is basically thank you for your service. Here is a medal for putting yourself on the line and probably being permanently damaged now. Sorry, a million. Here's your medal. I was thinking about the Purple Heart. Yeah, it's the one most of us know, I think. If you're like me and you watched MASH growing up, then you definitely know about Purple Hearts. They talk about it all the time. But that's where he gets his name from as well. I wanted to and usually so I made it a Master Ball, because when in doubt, make it a Pokemon. I think it is actually a heart shape, but I'm not 100% for, like, the real Purple Heart. And I wanted to kind of allude to that because that's where Captain Heart gets his name, is a Purple Heart. So it implies that he finished his time in the Air Force and then came home due to a Purple Heart, which would also explain, I don't know, his cocky attitude plus him being still pretty young, kind of a deal. This, that, and the other thing. But what a fun character. I had a lot of fun designing him. Next, let's move on to the Elite Four. We'll go through them, and then we'll jump to the villains. So the Elite Four, in order. We've got everyone's favorite, it's Figaro and Twycross. Everyone liked Figaro, and I'm so happy everyone liked Figaro. I'm so happy with how he turned out. I'm so happy I took that picture of a cool album. You can see that in the video. Look at his hand as well. That's a nice hand. Look at that. Good job, me. Thanks, me. I took a few liberties with, like, some of the colors and some elements, but this is basically that design, verbatim. These two, I drew them in order again, and they set this precedent of, the Elite Four have masks. I don't know how, like, it just kind of ended up this way. Twycross, and I wanted him to have a mask to kind of, allude to the fun thespian idea. So he's got the comedy mask, and which is very cool and very, like, oh man, that's nifty, that's a fun, cute character quirk. And obviously he's got his gas mask, and then I had the idea of Chrysanthemum having, like, holding a masquerade ball mask, and I was like, well, then they're all just gonna have masks, and so that's just how it ended up. There's a little thing they all have. What a fine fucking design. And I think this is another thing I must implore people. Look up real clothes. The reason why this does end up looking so good is because I was looking at a real man wearing a real outfit, and I altered parts of it, but for the most part, you don't have to do all the thinking. Sometimes, real clothes do that thinking for you. I do really like I think I added this big ass collar and the cute bow, and then this frilly crap. And it ends up looking really great. The stripes are so clean as well. They give a little bit of a va-va-voom, a little bit of a pop to what would otherwise be a pretty mid, just like kind of one piece idea, His attire looks like someone on leave, so good job, lol, thank you. I did it, yippee! A Purple Heart being a Master Ball is a cute detail. Thank you. I'm really happy with that, too. I would ask for his signature after his Elite Four battle. I would, too. Crafted this idea. It was like, you know what? I am #1 Figaro fan. I've definitely seen him perform on the stage, What fun facial hair. I don't often do this kind of goatee idea, but it's really working. It feels like a character I've seen before. And I love the red eye. I think it just pops out so nicely. The graying hair. He's just got so much personality, and that's another thing. A lot of the stuff can be attributed to the album art that I saw. So yeah, look to real people. Even anime-ified, real people are pretty dang cool. The mask steal is a really funny coincidence. Yeah, I know, right? It feels like the kind of thing you would go in with. And not that you go, whoops, I made everyone wear a mask, I guess. Headcanon, when Figaro loses to the player, his mask changes to the sad mask. How magic? I don't know. That is pretty cute. I do like that idea. Listen, if Iono can have her Magnemites that emote with her, his mask can go to sad. Figaro feels like he would be so dramatic, and Seraphim is the straight man. That's cute. I really like that. The worst looking part of him is probably the cane, which I added. I'm like, he needs to be able to lean. And, yeah, so I didn't have as good of a reference for a cane. So it's like, it's acceptable. This is a little weird. Twycross. Yeah, Twycross. Austro-Hungarian Trench Raiders. Was my inspiration. So there's another one. His outfit looks so good because I was drawing clothing directly. But then with, like, you know, with all this purple shit. Because poison users use the purple crap. But also, I'm really happy with this minty teal, like, tealy green hair idea. I don't even know how I landed on that. I think I was like, okay, cool. So we got all this purple stuff. Hair color. Yeah, let's go bright. You know? And I really like it. It's dang swell. Having the Pokeballs, these would normally be like, you know, canisters. Either of like mustard gas or something, you know, and changing that to how he carries his Pokeballs. I think that was a cute, fun little idea. Cute and fun is a bit weird to say in relation to poison, but you know what, it is what it is. The gas mask was clearly a little hard to do. I'm pretty happy with this texturing because that's like it's a weird texture to try to render, and I'm happy with how that turned out. Dang happy. Also, of course, for a masked character, we gotta get to be able to see him, and I think he's handsome. A handsome fellow. Another fun facial hair that I was like, just fuck it up. Just do something cool. And it's like, hell yeah, that is cool. And then one shaved eyebrow, that's hip. This is a hip guy right there. Look at him. Absolute, totally a handsome. And I think this is a nice, so obviously I tend to favor like silver hair on darker skinned characters. I think it looks great. What a surprise! I'm a fan of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. But I think this is a good signifier that light hair of any color looks pretty dang swell. Of course, dark hair looks good on dark skinned characters as well. But I want to do more with like darker skinned characters with more than just white hair more often, and I think this is a good signifier of, yeah, because look at how fucking good that looks. Figaro and Opal would probably be frenemies. They absolutely would be. When I first saw it, my eyes adjusted the color to yellow, and I thought it was Surge in disguise. I would be so intimidated by him, like, just left the fun thespian to a guy in a poison mask? What a whiplash. Yeah, I think he's one of the taller characters, for sure. He's kind of like 7 foot everything. I would want him to just absolutely tower over the player. So good guy. Totally fun way to do a poison type gym leader. Because I feel like, a lot of the poison types are they end up just being like villains, you know? Like Giovanni, or not Giovanni, but you know, Team Rocket uses poison types. I felt kind of aimless with poison, and I'm glad I came up with an idea. I don't know why they don't have a background. There we go. The next 2 Elite Four members, starting with Chrysanthemum. What a cutie pie. And yeah, I mentioned in the video that I drew Celine, was that her name? The flower princess from Fire Emblem Engage by memory. And I really am happy how that gave me the silhouette I was looking for, but because I was doing it by memory, I couldn't remember all the details, and so that resulted in a different looking dress, which is pretty dang cool. Hello, welcome. Hi, lol. Oh, hi, Io. We all say in unison, yeah. Also, what a fun, well, I don't often make more kind of overweight characters. Skinny characters are easier to draw, but I think she turned out super cute. I'm really happy with her body shape. I remember I fully drew her legs, and then I rendered out like her legs, and then I was like, I feel so stupid, I'm covering this in a dress. So what a shame, but she's like a total cutie pie, and I think her face came out especially cute. Look at that. She looks like a doll, just like Jewel does. Elegant, pretty. I remember I struggled a lot with this mask, and you can kind of tell. Making things symmetrical is dang hard, especially if you're like me. I don't like using the like symmetry tools too often. I'll copy and paste and flip things, but I don't like, you know, drawing in the center of the canvas and using a symmetry tool necessarily, because it ends up feeling artificial. I like I like having some level of variety, even in symmetrical features, but golly, the mask was hard. I think I was inspired by Dragon Age Inquisition. You get to spend a lot of time in a region with a lot of masks in that game, and I thought those were always really cool. I'm a fan of masks and masquerades. As a Labyrinth fan, I am a fan of masks and masquerades. It's just how it works. So I'm happy I looked up a handful of different masks for her as well. But that didn't feel like notable enough to put in the video for some reason. I don't know why. Why did I put so much effort into her leg? She's wearing a dress. Dude, I've got a picture on my phone still of a fully lavishly drawn hand on Aquabelle from Grim Magic, which I then covered in her long kimono sleeves. So it's just how it is sometimes. You just forget. Random question. I doubt you designed these guys with shipping in mind, but do you ship any of these guys together? Let me look at them. I think it's pretty easy to ship Ginger and Raven, the fighting and ghost type villains. I think they're pretty dang shippable. Other than that, no. No, it's a free reign. So do whatever you like. Also, yeah, she's super duper short. These are like 5-inch platform heels. That's the edge of her foot. She's the shortest character by a long shot. What a fun color palette. Super cute. I'm loving the shades of green. And the flower crown, this was so fun to do. It was so fun to just start going ham with colors. She and Figaro talk so dramatically in Twycross, and Ice Guy just stand there confused. She does look like a fancy dessert. I think a lot of, it's pretty easy for royalty to do that. And then yeah, it's Keen, that's his name. Keen is just, it's a word, got more yellow eyes. Keen means, like, ice. It just means cold. And I mentioned in the video my quest of how, and yeah, his mask, they all cover a different part of their face. Figaro's mask covers half of his face. Twycross's covers his full face. She's got her eyes covered up, and so he's got his mouth covered up. Which makes sense. You know, that's like a cold thing, you know? It's like, gotta keep, you know, reserve heat kind of a thing. And I mentioned, my quest of how I accidentally made this guy look like a fellow from Wolf's Rain, and I remember very clearly something an element I didn't include in the video, to keep it brief. But, like, that same day, I was like, oh no, I think I fucked up. I think he kind of looks like this character from Wolf's Rain. Like, that same day, somebody on my Discord messaged me and was like, I bet this guy's your favorite from Wolf's Rain, isn't it? I had not mentioned any of this plight. And somebody on my Discord just happened to be watching Wolf's Rain or something, and it was the guy that looks like this, and I was like, he is handsome. And that was all I could say about it. Tsume, yeah, that's it. I've still not seen it. I bet I would like it. But yeah, just pretty hilarious how that all shook down. I like this. It's a pretty simple design. This is hard to tell. He's got sparkly pants. It's hard to tell in the video because it's pretty subtle. But I think it's a fun feature. And then that plus his like sheer sleeves. Sheer is always fun. So yippee. This is actually pretty simple for a male figure skater outfit. They tend to be quite lavish. There's a lot going on those outfits, but I didn't want to overload him with like sparkles and stuff. Because I didn't want him to just be too visually noisy. So yeah. But yeah, he, well, it's a bit Route 1, but for being basically my first time drawing a figure skater, not too bad. Also, I'm pretty happy with this pose. This is clearly, and I think you can tell, this is like mid-twirl, like coming to the end of a, he's gotta do like one more rotation here, and you can see this arm is reeling back to like pull forward. And he's in, you know, got his leg ready, up and ready to, like, also kick out, to continue to spin. Dang happy with the pose. So hell yeah. I like Keen's outfit, the light blue and yellow pop really well. Gotta say, his hair reminds me of Dedue. It's also pretty Dedue-y. He's just like, if Sume from Wolf's Rain and Dedue from Fire Emblem kind of just fused together and went to the Pokemon world. And you know what? Those are both handsome guys, so how mad can I be? So yeah, fun stuff, super fun. No, we don't need to save whatever it is I did. Let's jump to the villains. Starting with one of the worst ones and one of the best ones. There they are. So, Slate is the worst design in the video, and I'll easily say that. I do like somebody, hang on, let me take a sip. Somebody in the comment section makes the idea, like, it's like, that he, like, was gonna get fully dressed up, ran out of time, went with comfy shorts. And I'm like, I like the idea of him being just kind of lazy, and that's why he looks so bad. But he just looks so bad. I clearly had the idea of, like, I wanted, like, a bigger guy. And I had the idea of doing, like, a cool Viking-esque braided beard. And then I had no other ideas. He uses rock types, and the rock type people generally kind of have nothing going on. Like, they tend to just be, like, an occupation. And also he's, like, crooked, by the way. I should have rotated him. Yeah, had him go, like, that way, you know? But whatever, what are you gonna do? And so, yeah, I was like, let's kind of roll with this Viking kind of idea, but then I didn't want to go full Viking, and it is for the worse. He just looks pretty bad. If I were to redesign any of them, he deserves a redesign the most. For sure. Hello. Welcome. Currently working right now, sneakily, like a sneakle dinkle. The beard is pretty cool. Here's a little fun factoid that you all probably may not have noticed. All of the villains have these, like, have fringe elements on them. And they're all different shades of brown to tan. These fringe elements are a unifying thing that connects them to the evil leader. She has these, like, fringes, and it also, her hair is the same general shape. And so, yeah, look for the normal fringes on everyone's outfits. So yeah, boring palette. He doesn't give rock. So yeah, he should get redesigned. Is the long and short of it. Just notice him and Cirrus are holding eggs. Yep, they are both holding eggs. It's because Cirrus is holding an egg because he's called the Clouded Caretaker. He's basically in charge of the what's it called? Daycare. He's in charge of the daycare. Once you beat Cirrus, you unlock the daycare, basically. Slate is holding an egg because basically he steals the eggs. But I also like to think that it's like, okay, so we're in charge of taking some of these eggs, but also everyone be careful with them. Like, Slate strikes me as he would be a gentle giant in a way. He's like a kind of a sweetie pie. Soft despite the rocky exterior. So the character is interesting. It's a shame that the design is just a little ass. What a cool design. I'm so happy with Sarah. Her name, by the way, Sarah, comes from like seraphim, kind of like water. A lot of water things have Sarah in their names, so that's where Sarah gets her name. But yeah, because of course you think of water types, you think of all these bright, poppy, fun characters, and then I was like, but she's a villain. And so what if I do like a piranha? And so I used piranhas and the salmonids from Splatoon and made this like mermaid design, which I think rules. I love the long ass nails. I love the expression. Her cool like shorter hair, not only looking like a fin, is fun, but also these eyes. This is such a fun way to do eyes. She looks like she's taking in so much information and yet she's still dead inside. I love the chompy twofers in a big mouth like that. And what a cool outfit. This like turtleneck, really tight. It's definitely giving mermaid, but in just such a cool way. Like she's mermaid bounding, you know? Yeah, he's definitely the dad of the team. 100%. Oh yes. Fringe, the fashion choice of evil. He would do crime, but like, don't hurt anyone. They're not part of the problem. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with Sarah. This gray skin tone as well. I was like, I want her to be a fish. Make her a fish. And so she's this crazy gray skin tone, and it's just oh, I can't get over this design. I even add the like scaly detailing to her dress, which is super fun. She's so cool. I cherish her. She's more a mermaid. Hell yeah. Having fangs is one of the quickest ways to win a place in my heart. Sarah does that with flying colors. She does look non-human, which I think is the best part. She just rules. She's got all the features right. Next up, we've got Ginger and Raven. Ginger, she was one of the last ones who I came up with a solid like idea with. I'm so happy. So this hair is so Pokemon. This like just a shitload of braids. Super fun. Bonus factoid, she's got purple eyes and he's got pink eyes because he's the ghost one and so he wears purple and she's the fighting one. And fighting is usually like a brick red, but she's got pink hair and pink has been used for fighting before, and isn't that just a fun little connection that they've got? Also, she could absolutely kill a man. Look at this rogue color that I had to delete for her like final PNG for the video. But wowee, what a fun little rogue element there. The outfit was also, I think it's not the cutest outfit on planet Earth, but I think her pose is doing that. I think her legs being sort of bent like this is not something you usually see super often with dancers. She looks a little off balance, but also I've put her in heels, so what are you gonna do? Also, Freckle Queen, absolutely coated into things, which was just a fun little element. Here's our fringe again, by the way. Our evil villain fringe is her flowy skirt. I think she's another one that would look so cool in the third dimension. But yeah, what a cutie patootie face. I explicitly wanted her to look cute. I was like, okay, so I want a buff girl, because obviously. And then I was like, but I want her to be omega cute. And so I went in fully with like, make her cute, and I think I succeeded. Absolutely. She also looks flat-chested, more flat chest rip. Yep. Yeah, I love different titty sizes, but especially flat chests are easier. Ginger and Raven, so soft and so strong. Also, massive credit for making a female fighting trainer not a twig. Thank you, because it's so, isn't that annoying? So yeah, it's nice to, I would have given her a 6-pack if I could draw those, you know? What a good hand, by the way. This hand, that's a hard angle. And way to go, me. Way to go. Thank you, self. Yeah, she's so super cute, super cool. I love her. And then Raven, another very handsome fellow. This is more stuff Twiins likes. Cool makeup. The makeup was so fun because I drew him, you know, on paper, and I like so I wouldn't forget, like, kind of smudged up around his eyes, and I was like, I can't wait to actually get to do these, and they look awesome. So yeah, he looks amazing. The choker is fun. What a shame, actually. I think his outfit also is kind of mid. It's just like a little boring, a little Rouen, kind of shapeless. I do like the big sleevey fringes for his fringe representation, but for my inspirations being Ghost and Kiss, like, I feel like we could have done this better. I feel like we could I could redesign him. I don't hate this by any means. He's another one. He's also got mad heels, but he's a short king, so it basically doesn't matter. he's taller than Sarah, and that's about it. But yeah, I could redesign him, and basically just putting him in a different outfit easily. I don't hate this. I am proud of myself for putting a pattern on the trim of his vest, at least. In my world, her and human Rhonda, Animal Crossing, are friends. They would be. You're so right. Also, yeah, shout out to the bass. It's not a horrible guitar. I looked up a guitar so I could draw it, and here's the thing. Here's the trick. I drew a fine, if really simple, guitar. In a perfect world, it would actually have, like, a cool pattern on it. But I'm bad at drawing instruments, and I knew that I should have added strings, and I just didn't want to. I was like, it'll be complicated, it'll be so much, so just don't. And so I just didn't. I cut my losses where they were. So yeah, he could do with a new outfit, but I like the general color palette and silhouette. Basically, what if we just, like, took off, like, what if we showed his titties more? Something like that. It's taller than Chrysanthemum and Sarah, so that's all that matters. Goes from 4'10" to 5'1". Next up is going to be a weird combo, because there are 5 admins. This was one of the last characters I drew, which means I also had to finally draw the professor! Yeah, I actually drew her pretty late into the adventure. We'll talk about her first. Professor Willow. Which I was later informed that Professor Willow was the name of the professor in Pokemon Go. Oops. Oh well. I like her hair accessories that are they're basically just Ultra Balls. I drew Professor Willow first, and then I drew Holly later, but I colored in Holly first. I'm fairly certain. And then I used that color palette for Professor Willow. I kind of pulled the yellows and greens for her. This pose is so interesting. It looks like she has like this arm doesn't work, and that was not what I was trying to imply. Another very fun hairstyle. I had so much fun looking up different hairdos, and I think my favorite part, it's tough to notice it, but this crazy ahoge, this would be really cool in the 3rd dimension. Another very cool one. And it's nice to have another young female professor in the lineup. We're finally evening that out a little bit. Look at this nice gradient. God damn. That's a 3-shade gradient right there. Holy schmoly. So yeah, Professor Willow. And she would actually be a professor. That's an annoying thing, I think, is Professor Magnolia in Sword and Shield. Like, she basically feels like she doesn't belong. Like, she gives... I don't think she even gives us the starters. Leon is in charge of that. You kind of go over there, she gives you the MacGuffin for Dynamaxing, and then she's like, no, get off my lawn, and you never have to go interact with her again. And I don't like how offhand she is. Sonia obviously is being set up to become the new professor, but yeah, I like a more involved professor. And that's what Willow would kind of do. Love the Pokeball beads. Aren't they cool? Holy schmoly is the technical term. It is. Hi, beloved. Mr. Handsome, do you want to tell chat how hungry you are? Oh, are you starving to death? He'll be okay. And next up, we got our final admin. It's Vern. Vern is actually super fun and interesting. We've got another yellow-eyed character. And so, like I mentioned in the video, his outfit is very much heavily inspired by Dragon Miku from Project Voltage, and then my figure of, I think his name is Ray, of a guy from Ensemble Stars, and, cause they're just both so dragon coded. In my head, all dragon trainers look like this. They've all got their titties out, they're all wearing, like, skin tight shit, they've all got capes, and this is actually super interesting. So I designed this, like, forever ago. Like it last January is when I drew Vern. And I was so proud of specifically this hair, because I convey like horns with his hair going up like this, and then the braid, very, very deliberately, I give him this long ass braid, which is to evoke, like, the ridges down a dragon's spine. It's the tail and spine of a dragon. It even ends with, like, a dragony tail kind of idea, and a hair tie accessory that looks like more horns. And then, spoiler, for Legends ZA. As long as I'm zoomed in on his face, I'm talking about Legends ZA spoilers. So, listen, remove your ears if you don't want spoilers. Okay. In Legends EA, the dragon-type trainer, Laban, she's got a long-ass braid like this. It's how I figured out early that she uses dragon types, because I was like, what's with the maid outfit? What's with the bow? She's got, like, a bow, and I thought it was supposed to make her look like a cat. And I was like, what's with this maid outfit? I don't get this character. And then I was like, no! She's a dragon! She's a dragon! She's also got a long-ass braid, and it's been decorated with little bows, which did the same thing as the, like, loose hairs that I gave Vern. And, I'm just so glad that, like, I was on such a same wavelength as the people working at Pokemon, that it makes Vern feel like it's like, yeah, this could totally be in Pokemon. And I was really happy to see that I had, a year before its release, had the same feature as a character actually in Pokemon. So that's really, really fun. I really like how that happened. Also, look at that nice head angle. Look at this. Look at that chin. Goddamn. Oh, girl. Who is he? He's handsome. I like him. He's another good husband right there. Look at this man. This dragon admin. Revealing those hips and abs like there aren't children and simps present. I am simp. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with him. I love the colors too. You gotta give dragons red and purple. So he's perfect. He's absolutely 10. Nothing wrong with this design. Also, he's 7 foot everything, and then I still put him in heels. Doug does have competition. And almost done. The final little collection of people is technically a special collection, where it's, so we got Blanche, and then her grunts. We'll talk about the grunts briefly. You may have noticed I actually have 4 versions of the grunts. They change skin tones every time you see them to imply how, you know, it's like a collective of people, you know? So that was fun, giving them different skin tones, and it was also, that made it interesting because I had to, like, really tamper with the grays and tans in their outfits, because if they were too brown, then they ended up clashing with some of the skin tones, and I didn't want that, so that was fun. That meant I got to kind of play around with their designs a lot. Obviously I took a lot of inspiration from Team Rocket. I would say Team Aqua has the best grunt designs because of the striped socks, but I didn't want to just copy that, so I looked at Team Rocket. It's a solid place to be, and I think sticking with these, like, we got some of the fringy elements, not only with their hair, but also, like, with her skirt, and that's mostly it. But we got some fringe ideas. The striped, like legging elements, like thick ass fabric elements, I think are fun. It's also nice that they sort of echo each other. You know, she's got this fold over collar, he's got fold over socks. She's got leggings, he's got long sleeves. You know, just cool stuff. So yeah, they were fun. I'm glad I was able to think of something that looked fine. That's all. I just needed them to look fine. It was most likely a Pokemon, but did I just see a dinosaur? Yeah, kind of. That's Cryvern. Probably. And then we got Blanche. Blanche is another holdover from my I've been thinking about this kind of idea for a long, long time, and this tall Ariana Grande-esque ponytail is a holdover from that idea that I had of this basically, what if Lusamine again. Also, goddamn. Dolly Parton over here. Holy shit. I remember I drew her, and I drew her legs wrong. I had her, like, leaning in a way that wasn't right. I had to change, the orientation of her legs, digitally, once I could, like, kind of rotate and flip things. But yeah, and I wanted her whole palette to have this. I know, honey, I'm almost done. Why don't you go ask the mom who's not streaming? Can you do that? I wanted her palette to be opulent. Obviously, I wanted her to look like a normal type trainer, and in my eyes, normal equals Eevee. And so it's a very Eevee-coded color palette. We got all this fringe, all these, the fringe things, the evil, villainous fringe that, you know, connects her to her team. These heels are also crazy. These are so high, but also what a fun fantasy heel. It kind of gives hoof somehow. I think it's because it's like really forward, which I think is a fun connection to her ace. And also we got more yellow eyes, but this is because I wanted her to evoke opulence. I wanted it to be gold and Master Ball purple. I wanted it, you know, a very normal palette, accented with money. So I think she's another one that would be really cool, like in motion, in the third dimension. She's so sassy. Well, this is an evil little smile right there. So much makeup too, which is really fun. I don't give care. Vincent keeps yawning at me. He is looking me dead in the eye, and instead of like yelling at me, he's just yawning really really slowly. And since he's a black cat, his little pink mouth just stands out so much. And yeah, Blanche. Blanche, I also learned, is also already a name of somebody in Pokemon Go. Oops, I don't know. Can you tell I don't play Pokemon Go? But, it means, like, white, and that's why I went with it, because it's colorless in the TCG, you know, the card game. Blanche, Lusamine, but not crazy. More business-oriented and sexy, with peanut butter and jelly accents. Quick question about Blanche, is she single? Ooh, woo. Fun fact, my original idea was for the rival, so Holly, to be Blanche's daughter. And she was gonna be a lot more like horse girl coded. Then I was like, no, I don't want to do that because we just did that with Arvin. Forgetting that the Arvin was also the son of the professor. So, oops. But yeah, you know, I think that means she is single. Huh? Yeah, originally I was gonna have the rival, instead of be Holly, it was gonna be the daughter of Blanche here, and she was gonna be, yeah, just horse girl coded, so, you know, kind of flannel, like a flannel shirt, a high ponytail, but just not as pop star coded. That was the original kind of design ideas, and then I shifted, and I was like, no, I'm gonna make her the daughter of the professor instead. Honey, I know you're starving so much. Can you wait for me to finish stream, or can you just go ask mom? I cherish you. Wait, the family drama potential. Blanche and Professor Willow are exes. I guess? But yeah, there you go. That's all my Pokemons and my Pokemon trainers. And it was a lot of fun talking about them. You can hear me discuss the narrative and a little bit more about some of these designs in a cool, condensed way. In the video that I made, so you can find that over on my channel, Twiins Inc. You know who I am. But thanks for being here. I had a lot of fun. I love talking about designs, and so I should absolutely do this more. Doing more of my, making my videos where I draw things and then I go on stream to talk about them even more. So yeah. Pal World has started their heel turn and sent a cease and desist. Well, Pal World can suck a fart out of my ass. They ain't got no balls to be sending no cease and desists. I'll tell you what. It was a really fun time. Thanks for being here. Make smart choices. Drink your vegetables, eat your water, and I guess I must feed the world's hungriest little boy, Vincent. So yeah, have fun working, have fun being smart and cool, and I'll see you on the flip side. Goodbye.